It's cool when they say it. It's a problem when I say it. F it.
People ask me, what was my aha moment? What made me change my perspective? And it's when I saw this. So a black person in the United States during the Jim Crow era faced second-class citizenship, disenfranchisement, barriers to voting, barriers to education, barriers to employment, and barriers to housing. Then we had the 1964 Civil Rights Act and the 1965 Voting Rights Act, which stated we could no longer do any of this. We could no longer discriminate based on race. So in 2023, what is the only group of people that we can legally discriminate against? We can legally relegate to second-class citizenship, create barriers to voting, barriers to education, barriers to employment, barriers to housing. If you answered convicted felon, you are absolutely correct. In 2023, a convicted felon is the only group of people that we can legally do all this to. Now, do you believe it's a coincidence that 1 in 3 black males carry this label as convicted felon as opposed to 1 in 17 white males? If you answered yes to that question, let's take a look at what's happened since the dismantling of the Jim Crow laws. We've had a 700% increase in our prison population. We've gone from 300,000 inmates to as high as 2.3 million. Now, I do believe we're back down to about 1.8 million today. We had the law and order agenda, which was an increase in police spending and a decrease in school funding, which created the school to prison pipeline. We also had the war on drugs, which we now know was a war on people. We had the 1986 Anti-Drug Abuse Act, and we had the 1994 Crime Bill. Now, the 86 Anti-Drug Abuse Act differentiated between rock cocaine and powder cocaine, which we know predominantly impacted the black community. And the 94 Crime Bill created harsher sentences, lengthier sentences, and minimum mandatories. We also know that black people make up 53% of all exonerations, 69% of exonerations for drug crimes, and they're 7 times more likely to be wrongly convicted. So when I seen all of this, I realized that racism in this country never ended. We have a systemic...
Now, see, for me, it doesn't make it more valid because a so-called white person is saying it, because these are things that a lot of so-called black people have been saying for years, you know, for a very long time. So this isn't news to us. This is what we've been saying, right? We're not, all of us, now some of us are, but many of us, like myself, are not saying that, you know, we're victims and, you know, because of this, we can't be successful at all in this country. No, that's not the point that we're making. Two things can be true at the same time. Work harder, be more accountable, be more responsible, control the things that you can control, right? Teach your kids to be more family oriented, believe in God, you know, live by God's way of, you know, living. I believe in all those things, but this can also be true at the same time. It just hit a lot different when it's explained and it's so eloquently broke down. When you break it down step by step and you go from the history and you bring it up to 2023 and a lot of the system, when you talk about a 700 increase, like, come on, man. The reason why I wanted to show this is not only because a person is saying it, but it is because it's a white person that's saying it. Because one thing that I know about a lot of so-called white people and the friends that I've had some of them tell me this very thing right here.
I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret about white people. Every single white person knows somebody who is racist. Racist towards black people, racist towards Spanish people. We all know somebody. It might be our family member, might be a distant relative, might be a coworker, might be an old friend, but we all know somebody. Personally, I come from a whole family of racist people. Yeah, my entire family is Republican too, okay? My dad's parents are racist, and my mom's parents are racist. Okay? So I'm literally going against everything by talking about this. I am putting my own life on the line by speaking about this, and that's what we all should be doing. See, we could have ended this a long time ago, but people like my mom listened to these racist comments that their parents were making and didn't speak out against it. They kept their mouths shut. Or they agreed with them silently, you know? But they didn't do anything about it. They continued to let this be passed on generation after generation. So my mom never told me or taught me any racist ideologies. She continued to let it happen because she didn't speak out against it when her parents were talking about it or my dad's parents were talking. So if you are against racism and you are against discrimination and you're a white person, you need to speak out about it. Otherwise, you are allowing this to continue generation after generation, and you are just as much a part of the problem as anybody else.
And that's not a secret to me, because I've known that for a while, because I have a lot of white friends that have told me that, right? So again, when you say systemic racism is real, a lot of people see you as lazy. They see you as trying to blame other people for your shortcomings. And while that can be true for some people, a lot of us, that's not the point that we're making, man. We're just making the point that the system has been set up in a way in which, you know, a lot of people have struggled and been at a disadvantage for a lot of years, and therefore a lot of other people have had a bigger head start and faced advantages that a lot of other people aren't able to benefit from. That's my, you know, that's my thoughts on that. Y'all in the comment section, y'all give me y'all thoughts. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I just thought this was important. I know a lot of y'all are not going to agree with this. I know a lot of y'all are going to say, well, that means white people can be, white people are convicts as well. But the point is, it's a disproportionate amount of so-called black people that have been convicted for something. A lot of times wrongly convicted for crimes that they probably should not have even went to jail for, right? Again, y'all up in the comment section, y'all give me y'all thoughts, man. Until next time. Right.
Oh, yeah, Diddy got a podcast.